Okay, so welcome to the NFL defense tier list.
Tier
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Tier Tuesday NFL defense tier list.
And this is in week 13, or is this
Do you,
built?
I'd like to do how they perform this year. That's what I would say.
Okay, because barring injury,
A lot of these things could
Yeah.
be fluctuated.
like if there's ever a list where the Patriots would have done good,
Mhm.
it's like the roster on defense.
Yeah, I would say, like
But
on paper,
barring injury,
like the Bills on defense would have been
yeah,
good barring injury, but I would say how they're playing,
like where they're
yes,
at this moment,
including
Currently.
injuries, bad games.
their defense is keeping them in it. I mean, they're probably like mid.
That's what I would say.
Probably,
I would say like C tier, like
yeah.
high C tier.
They're in the playoffs
like-
right now.
like I remember people were talking about them being contenders a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh boy.
Their
I-
offense
yeah.
maybe, but their defense, yeah.
The defense is the crutch. I don't think their special teams is that good either.
No, I think
Um,
it's a C tier defense again. I think it's better than the
Yeah.
Colts.
Yeah,
But I
it's
think-
not by much.
Yeah,
that whole South is a little
yeah.
shaky.
Now the Titans, I would say that they have a B tier defense at least. I would say it's their offense's problem. Why they're not winning games. I mean, Will
Yeah,
Levis is
I'd
not
agree
getting
with
it
that.
done. I would say they're a B tier defense.
Not like crazy good.
Middle of the pack.
They're like
but
I'd say they're like 1 to 32. I'd say they're more in like the 10 to 15 range than the 16 to 20.
but yeah, the big problem with them is like the QB room and the
Yeah.
receivers are pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know,
Here might be the most interesting team on this list. The Denver Broncos. They had an awful start to the year. The first 5 or 6 games. They might have been the worst defense.
that 70-point game is a stain.
But since then,
They're
I'd say
performing.
they're the most. I would have to put them.
last year that defense was like S tier.
Yes. Yeah.
It had Bradley Chubb and
I mean, this year, I would say personnel wise, they're a B.
But performance,
I'd probably say a C just because those first 5 games. Like the
Yeah.
best team in C tier.
they're surging right now.
But if we're taking the whole,
And if you look at the roster, like it's legit.
oh
but,
yeah,
but not like
it's
that stain hurts them.
that's what I'm saying. Like
That's
if we're going by since week 10, they're probably an A tier defense.
Yeah.
But
But that
they were a
Miami
D
game,
tier defense, possibly one of the worst defenses in the league up till week 6 or something.
yeah.
I mean, I would probably have to go C myself for the whole body of work.
I'm with you. Like
I'd agree with that.
Either highest C tier
or
or lowest B tier.
I'd say highest C.
At this point, it's highest C. But
I'd say one more good game though, they're B.
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
they win again next week in great fashion. Dominated backup quarterbacks like
The Bron-
Sam Ellinger and Zach Wilson and nobodies.
Like the Broncos are dominating Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes.
And they just beat another really good team, right? The Bengals or no, that was Cincy and Pittsburgh. But the list goes on and on for Denver
Mhm.
at this moment.
It's been like a solid 6 games.
They're dominating the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers were another team. Yeah,
You know, I think Denver squeaks into that B tier just on talent.
that was a hard one, 'cause
but it's
I think
close.
That was just a tale of two halves of the season.
Yeah,
Next one, Kansas City. I put them in S tier.
I think that middle
Mhm.
linebacker room, Chris Jones and the likes,
Yeah,
they're filthy.
I mean that guy George Karlaftis. I mean,
I think the Chiefs are better on defense this year.
yes,
You know,
I
they're
mean
better on defense than offense, and
Yeah,
it's
For
close.
sure.
definitely more consistent.
Yeah,
I would say they're S tier.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. I mean,
Unfortunately.
and that's what happens when you have the superstar quarterback. You like let him run the show
Mhm.
on offense, and you build around the defense. Then that's the Patriots.
I mean
recipe
that guy.
for
What's his name?
success.
Trent McDuffie. He's a dog.
Yeah.
The cornerback. I mean, great run blocker, great pass protection, great pass breakups, and all that stuff. I mean,
No, they dominate the line of scrimmage every snap.
and
They're-
let's let's move on to the Raiders.
Oh,
That's a D tier.
Yeah, that defense really blows.
Hey, but they held the Patriots under 20 points.
Hey,
And
they're one of the bottom 5 teams for a reason.
Yeah.
Defense is one of them.
Bad offense, bad defense, bad special teams. Playing better lately.
They
but
have a fun player in Max Crosby who is a great pass rusher.
I feel bad for him. He could be
he's
on a better
trapped.
team.
Yeah, he's trapped.
They
Just
had
like
Chandler
TJ
Jones,
Watt for all
but-
that time.
They had Chandler Jones, but
Yeah, went off
That
the
is-
deep end.
yeah.
Um,
All right, moving on to
We'll
the
move on from
Chargers.
now that team sucks. Their defense.
Yeah, they on paper they might be an A tier defense.
Yeah,
The way that they play defense though is so bad. They're above the Raiders.
this
But-
week you're gonna see the Pats offense versus the Chargers defense, and like something's gonna give, because it's like full clown
Oh.
shows. Now, do I think the Patriots will still lose? Yeah, I mean we saw them against the Raiders defense.
Yeah, I
so.
mean-
And we've seen them against the Giants.
Hey, what's up, Al?
Coach Al, surprise appearance.
Surprise visit.
All right, I would say that they're an S tier
I
team.
like the Cowboys in the S tier.
I would put them ahead of the Chiefs because of their big playability. Because I think like Deron Bland with those 5 pick sixes or 5 defensive touch. No, 5 pick sixes.
Yeah,
And then Micah Parsons is just an absolute
Easily.
elite.
defensive player of the year written all over him.
Even DeMarcus Lawrence, probably the most underrated guy on that defense.
Yeah,
Leighton Vander Esch gets hurt, but I mean he's a guy in the middle of that defense who's a good signal caller and all that.
they still have
Steph Gilmore
now?
They still
Yeah.
Steph Gilmore's their number 2 guy.
Gilmore like stepping up in a huge way. I know he didn't have as much of a role with the Colts, but on the Cowboys, he's been
He was terrible on the
huge.
Colts.
Yeah,
He did not look like the same Stephon Gilmore that started out with the Patriots. And
Resurrected in Dallas.
It's crazy how much of a turnaround he's had this year.
I mean, yeah.
the Cowboys defense is really cool. Like they dominate.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that their defense would have to carry them this year. Dak's obviously playing better this year. They don't even have Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah,
I mean, he got hurt, a month ago, 2 months ago?
yeah.
They're still dominating, so they kick the crap out of bad teams, though.
No,
They just
destroy 'em.
destroy bad teams.
Yeah. And the big thing you want to see is how they fare in the playoffs and against some good teams, because they have had a pretty light schedule, Dallas Cowboys.
True. The Giants.
So Giants defense, it's like the Patriots, I'd say.
I would say it's low B.
yeah, it's like
Because I think like with Leonard Williams on there, they traded him to Seattle. But with Leonard Williams on there, I thought they were a little bit better. Dexter Lawrence is an absolute elite guy in the middle of that defense. Who's the other guy that I'm thinking of? I mean, they got Isaiah Simmons on there, the absolute most versatile guy. He can play safety, linebacker. Is it no? That's the tight end for the Bobby Okereke. He's
Okay.
really good out there. He's a good middle linebacker, and I think he just kind of serves as a base for that defense. I mean, it's not really evident against the Patriots because the Patriots can't really score against anybody.
yeah, the
But-
Patriots, they're just walking.
But
with
I
their
thought
hand.
that they played a
on
good
the back.
defensive game. I didn't think they really gave him anything to throw to.
And the New York Giants defense really came up with a big game against
It
the
was an
Commanders.
interesting one.
Yeah,
The Eagles.
I mean, the Eagles
I
have-
think on paper, this is an S tier team
Yep.
between Slay, Bradbury, that defensive line. I would say they're underperforming though. I was
For
watching
sure.
this Bills game, and I understand Josh Allen's really good, but you're leaving guys open the whole game, and your defensive line is not getting to the quarterback as much as last year. I mean, that 70 sack year last year might have been a little bit higher on the scale, but I'm still thinking more pressure's needed.
I like the take of them underperforming. I mean, I know it was Super Bowl hangover, but Mac Jones threw for 300 yards in that game.
Yeah, it's like
And they were like a toe away from actually winning that game.
yeah,
Or Cole Strange like making
one tackle
One-
and one
one
block.
yard. I like the take of them underperforming. They're living off of DeAndre Swift. Is doing huge things for that offense and
Yeah.
controlling the ball for them because Hurts has been hurt this year.
But I would
No,
say
they've
B.
gotten really lucky against some teams. They
I
could
would
be
say
winning
B.
games
If
by a
you,
lot
I like
more.
them at A.
you like them at A, okay.
Yeah,
I can live with that. I was gonna put them at like B plus or
yeah.
A minus, like depending on.
I think they're right in the middle of A tier. Like there's still some defenses that I take ahead of them.
Oh yeah,
Like the New Orleans Saints, when we get to them, they are a very good defensive team. The same with the 49ers. They're always in the mix there. They upgraded.
yes.
The Eagles are in the mix, but I don't think they're on the same level as the Chiefs or the Cowboys right now
No,
on defense. As an overall team, the Eagles hang with everybody.
the Eagles might be the best team, second best team, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
The Bills. Here's a case of injuries.
Yes.
I would say injuries, they're an absolute A, S tier, somewhere in there. I might honestly just see. I mean, I know it's one game, but seeing how the Patriots played
Say
against
that's that
there in the
team.
Broncos tier, I think
Yeah.
if healthy, like I said, A or S tier, easy. I think the injuries are affecting them, and I think Von Miller not getting fully back yet is really affecting
Yeah, they
them.
miss Von Miller a lot.
I mean, they traded Boogie Basham.
Yep.
It's just I think that they're a great defense if everyone's healthy. Not a lot of depth.
The big thing you see with Buffalo too is they get taxed very fast because
Yes.
the Bills turn the ball over so much.
Josh turned the ball over.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why you see them fall apart late in games. I like the take of them being in the B tier with the
But
Broncos.
in the B teams,
I don't
in the
know.
B tier.
I don't know if they're
I'd say they're better than the
By a
Giants.
props to
terrible
Denver.
Denver.
Props to Denver.
But they
for
turned it
turning
around. I mean, they figured out how to turn it around. So there's
Yeah.
that.
Washington.
Ah.
That's a D tier team.
Yeah,
I mean, they just fired Jack Del Rio. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think they're as bad as the Raiders, but
They're a lot like the Chargers.
like, just
They just
they
they
stink.
get dominated on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Their corners are just traffic cones.
Yeah.
Washington doesn't have a lot going for them right now.
The Bears are kind of the same. I would say honestly, the Bears. They
Go
actually,
Bears.
The Bears had like the biggest choke in
yeah,
the history of football,
yeah,
blowing like a 14-point lead or 10-point lead with 2 minutes
yeah,
in a game.
yeah. It's just like they're just like Washington and the Chargers. Like their defense cannot get a stop.
You
Cannot get-
can score anytime you want against these bottom 4 teams right now.
Yeah,
You can score any drive.
Unless you're the Patriots.
yes.
Unless you're running Mac Jones out there.
The Lions, I would put in D tier as well
You have them at with the Chargers
because just seeing how they played on
Thanksgiving.
and the games before. I mean, they gave up 38 points to Justin Herbert. I know he's a great quarterback, but I mean,
See, last year I would have put them down there.
I'll put them in C.
I feel like they're the bottom of C tier. I feel like
Yeah.
they improved that defense just
I
a
agree
little
with Brendan
bit.
on that one.
Okay.
But
I can respect that.
last year I would have put them like worse than the Raiders
I would have put
on
them.
defense.
I can live with that.
Like Bailey Zappi was having a night against them last year. If you remember that game.
Bailey
He
Zappi.
put like 35 points up.
Of course. Jared Goff looked lost. The Packers. Ugh, this is a tough one too.
They're pretty mid.
Like they're mid. They're kind of like Jacksonville.
Yeah, like just not overwhelming with talent, but they're not like
They're not
absolute
dogs.
bums.
Yeah.
Like
They're
these
not.
guys in the D tier.
I mean, I just think they're a 500 team, so they're an average defense.
Yeah,
So do you want to put them ahead of? Do you want to put them like right there?
Yeah.
I would say right, like
Yeah.
yeah.
because they're better than the Colts and Lions, but they're not like
A lot of the defense.
they kind of remind me of the Jaguars minus the good quarterback.
Yeah, I would say that that's the best defense in the North.
Yes.
And the NFC North, like
Ugh,
they just don't play defense.
no.
Like, it's bad stuff.
Like the next
Speaking of
team.
which,
I mean, the Vikings, they've
Minnesota.
turned, once again, they weren't as bad as the Broncos in the beginning of the year,
yeah,
but they're just not a good team. I would say they're C tier, but they're bottom of it.
and
I
they-
wouldn't say that because Brian Flores is doing a decent job. I mean,
but and like he's always been a really good defensive coach,
ugh,
but
it's just-
he's part of that Belichick tree that just struggles a lot.
I would be fine going highest D or lowest C.
I'd say highest D.
I like them in D tier too. You know, like
I think they're better than
they just don't care about the defense, man.
not because they
Their
lost like
secondary blows.
they lost like Pat Pete and all that stuff. And it's
Yeah.
just,
And I see them taking an offensive player in the first round every
oh,
year.
they're probably going to take another receiver again.
They're going to go for another one, you
Like-
know? I can't
Like, you
stand them.
need the Vikings,
Oh, man.
the Falcons.
Oh,
They're another mid team,
Very, very mid. Not
I-
as bad as, like, these guys.
but they're at the Lions.
They're
Yeah.
probably a little better than the Lions.
I would say
don't know.
they're on the same level as like the Colts.
Yeah.
Like they're okay. Like
But you're not, like, getting any
it's
points.
the
or you're not
NFC South
getting any
in a
stops
nutshell. It's like mid.
Yeah.
It's just bleh.
Yeah, it's very just gross. But when we get to the Saints, that's a team that
Yes.
they have
Has
actually have
legit
a
defense.
legit defense, which
Mhm.
looks really good.
The Panthers,
Wow. Yeah,
like
the
just
Panthers.
a bad team, but I'm trying to figure out where to put them in D tier. Because
Yeah.
I don't think they're as bad as the Raiders.
But
they're
But
not
are
as
they
good as
better than the
Chargers.
Bears?
That's what I'd put them before. I think the Raiders honestly might have the worst defense in the league.
Yeah.
But like the Panthers are just a bad team. Bad offense, bad defense, bad special teams, bad coaching. No
Panthers-
first round pick this year. Like, wow.
Just an organizational mess. And
Made moves
you took
last
the
year.
wrong guy.
Yeah, you
You took the wrong guy and lost your pick.
everybody was all saying, "Oh, C.J. Stroud. Oh, he failed the Wonderlic test." Yeah,
Yeah, well, how's
I
that
mean,
paying off now?
I remember CJ Stroud went to TD Garden last year, and I was like, "We're trading up." We're gonna
yeah,
win."
and I was like, "No, we're just stuck with Bailey Zappi."
No, we're running Zappy out there. Yeah, no. Instead, we traded down.
No, let's trade down again. The Saints, A tier.
A tier. Yeah, no, I like
Behind the
going A tier.
Eagles, I
You're
would
a
say.
big
Guy
guy.
that they lost. I'm forgetting him right now, but it was a defensive line. Oh, Marcus Davenport. I mean, those are legit guys on the defense, and you just fill them in. Oh, Alex Anzalone was the other guy I was thinking of too. I mean, these are pillars on your defense, and they just continue to have that defense that will win you games in spite of your offense. Even,
Yeah,
I mean, I understand the Patriots game,
I mean,
but I mean, they look dominant. They have Ty Matthew on there, Marcus May on there. I mean, they lost Marcus Williams as well to the Ravens, and they're still good. They just replace guys.
yeah.
They're not chasing them; they're replacing. I mean, it's just like wow.
Well, and last year you got to see them keep the boat level with Jameis Winston running like QB. Now with more competency in offense between, you got Taysom Hill over there, you got Derek Carr and Kamara,
Olave and
Olave.
Thomas.
Yeah, like now they have a competent offense to go with them. They're surging and they're not just getting taxed wicked early into games. I like the spot for the Saints right now in the A tier, right behind the Eagles. They're a puncher's chance. They're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, like Matt said, if Jordan was still in his prime, man.
Yeah,
Cameron
true.
Jordan in his prime is scary.
Dog.
Like he's one of the elite defensive players in the NFL.
Let's go.
This is what I wanted the Patriots to be, was like that defense, awesome with a competent offense. Because last year they had an awesome defense, but it might have been fraudulent,
The Bucks. Definition of mid.
Yeah, they're mid. They're not like
They're better than I'd say they're better than the Falcons and the.
I think
Yeah,
they're
actually-
right there with the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, they're just. Tom Brady's not there anymore, so you can't really bail him out. And I mean,
They are in shootouts a lot.
yeah. Baker Mayfield, shout out.
Shout out, big baller Baker.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else to
Yeah,
say.
I mean
about
Not
that's
much
Tampa
else to
right
say
now.
about
They're
the
just
Bucks.
they're battling with the
Tom.
Saints in the South.
the Cardinals, D tier.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Cardinals
absolutely.
suck.
Yeah, I would say that they're.
Easy decision on this one.
Panthers
Everybody's better
are
than the
better.
Raiders.
Panthers are better. That's what I would say. I would say they're
Cardinals better than the Panthers.
because I think
Oh,
the
for
Cardinals have a few good players like Buda Baker on there, and I mean the Panthers have Brian Burns, but it's not helping.
Yeah. No, the Panthers just really blow, man. They couldn't even stop the Bears' backup.
No, Badgett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just shows you.
All right, the Dolphins. Another team that should have been really good.
Yeah, on paper, that defense upgraded a bunch between Ramsey and Chubb.
You know who's a beast on there?
But I feel like they
Andrew Van
underperformed.
Ginkel.
Yeah.
Van Ginkel's a beast. Guy just always makes a play. I would say they're B tier, lowest B tier.
Yeah, like
I mean, I think they're better than the Giants, but
yeah, I think they're better than the Giants too.
actually they're on the same
remember,
level. They're on the same level as the Bills, actually.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like they're interchangeable with Buffalo.
Because you gotta, I mean,
Like that defense improved a lot.
Their
this
defense
year.
gave up 10 points to the Broncos in this.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Hey,
Come on now, that 70-point game is going to taint the Broncos defense forever this season.
I know it's brutal.
all right, the Rams.
See,
They're another weird team where
I feel
it's
like they're like pretty low.
I'd say they're like Bucks, Packers, Jaguars level.
Yeah,
Like, because they still have Aaron Donald. I mean,
past his prime now, but in his peak, he was.
I'll put
a
them.
unit.
I'll put them ahead of the Bucks.
I'm fine with that.
In between the Packers and the Bucks.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just they're a team to watch.
on both sides, really.
Yeah, they're just.
They have so much talent, like wicked, flashy stuff, but
It's just that's LA for you.
that's just LA.
Mhm.
Yeah.
San Francisco,
Best
easy
defense,
S tier.
best
I'd
tier.
say best defense in the league.
Hands down.
I'd say best defense.
Best
in the league.
defense in the league.
I would say, if healthy, easily best team in the league. Best team in the league, actually. Yeah. And just
on paper,
they
team.
are at like the elite of elite. I mean, that offense when healthy is just absolutely insane. You got CMC, you got Debo, you got Brandon Ayuk. Obviously,
Georgie.
Oh yeah, can't forget about Kittle. I mean, if they had imagine if they had like a Tom Brady at quarterback there.
I heard Kirk Cousins might go there, but
But
yeah.
I like what Brock Purdy's kind of done on the offense. Obviously, he's not great, but like when you need him to when you need to perform, he performs. But that defense is just absolutely stacked. I mean,
I think the Cowboys have a higher ceiling.
yes, I would agree because I think that they can make more plays.
But I understand having just baseline the Niners at number 1. I feel like the Chiefs are right there with these teams, but they're just not on the same level as the top two.
I mean, the Cowboys have 2 pass rushers that are elite. San Francisco has 2 pass rushers that are elite. I mean,
yeah.
And you got Frank Warner at linebacker.
Yeah, Fred Warner,
yeah.
Dre Greenlaw. I mean, and Chase Young now.
Chase Young, yeah, and both teams just stuff the run, like they just dominate the middle very well. The Chiefs do that amazingly too. I like where the Niners are at number 1. Cowboys have the ceiling, but they don't have the floor that the Niners. The Niners just set the standard.
I think a few of these next ones are going to be able to get pretty easily.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, I'd say that they're a C tier team. They're another mid defense.
Yeah, that defense is just.
I'd say they're like.
You can't really.
Depend all of those are like they're all the same. Patriots, I would honestly say B tier. I think they're kind of the Giants.
Yeah,
if healthy, they would probably be.
If healthy, they'd be A.
They'd be like, the bottom of A. The bottom of A, or like the top of B.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now they're with the Giants. They're kind of the same team as the Giants.
Yeah, just terrible offenses and pretty good defenses living off their defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would put them right behind the Giants. Actually, I put them in front of the Giants. I put them in front of the Giants. Jets are literally the same team.
Yeah.
I would say that they're in front of the Giants as well. They're a little bit worse than the Patriots, I would say, right now, because they've gotten blown out a few more games.
Yeah.
But they're essentially the same team. Awful offense.
Just dog in
there. Good defense. Gardner hasn't had as good of a year like Sauce.
Yeah,
but
he hasn't.
But I mean, also, like I said, they're out there too much to actually be considered an elite defense because every team can move the ball.
Yeah.
Every team's going to be able to move the ball and score,
And like
except for the Patriots.
they
but
lost to the Patriots. That's
Yeah,
a
so
stain
that
on
is.
your season.
You only scored 15.
You're
so,
one of the 2 teams that lost to the Patriots.
most underrated defense, I think, on this list is the Ravens.
They put on a show.
I would say they're an A team. I'd say that they're not as good as the Chiefs, Cowboys, and the 49ers. But
above the Eagles.
I would say they're above the Eagles because, I mean, Justin Herbert looked lost last game.
He did.
I mean,
Eckler, they had like 2 fumbles. Keenan fumbled and Eckler fumbled.
I mean, you have between Patrick Queen, what's his name? Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, even on the defensive line, you have a few guys who can absolutely just dominate on pass rushing and run blocking. I'm forgetting their names. I don't know why, but I mean that whole defense has been vastly improved. You have Marcus Williams back there. Scary team.
Yeah,
they're getting back up to the days of like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed defense.
Terrell Suggs.
It's getting scary to play the Ravens again.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, they're
scary hours. Bengals used to be my team that I thought had the most underrated defense.
Going through it right now.
Again, they're one of those teams.
They get tags now.
Bengals. I would put them in B- tier. But I could also see it being Jaguars tier.
I mean, I understand what they do in the big spot to close it. But I just don't put them on the same level as the Jets.
Okay, I can. So you
Yeah.
want to put them like between the Jaguars, like in here?
I think they might be better than the Jags.
Okay, I can respect that.
If Burrow wasn't hurt, I'd say they're up in the B tier. But with Burrow being hurt, their defense is getting taxed. And
Yeah, that's the problem.
See, I think the Jets are like that spot that's the divide of like good defense, like really solid defense.
Like able to get a stop if needed.
Yeah, just in big ways. But you're right, the Jets defense hasn't even been that good.
Browns
like,
S tier. Oh, sorry.
No, keep
Browns S tier.
Yes,
I would say, but they're the worst S tier. But they actually.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
They have a lot of guys. I mean, you have
Myles Garrett.
You have Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Owosu Kawuso or whatever his name is. I mean, it's just absolutely just a defense that is at every level has playmakers and is able to get stops, and they don't give up yards either, which is unheard of in the NFL. They give up like 290 yards a game, which is what most quarterbacks throw for.
Yeah.
It helps too that they're in a climate where it's going to rain, get windy,
and cold,
cold, but they use it to their advantage. The Packers might play in the coldest environment in the NFL. They don't take advantage of it.
Minnesota too.
Minnesota's in a dome, unfortunately.
But New England
actually
without Trevon Diggs.
Yeah,
too.
so I would say that Denzel Ward is the best cornerback out of the S tier teams, and I mean, shutdown corners are so important,
and especially in this league. Having top-notch corners are everything.
Garrett and Bosa kind of level each other out.
Yeah.
And kind of cancel each other out. But I mean, that's the other guy. Zadarius Smith. That's the guy in the Browns.
Yeah.
Two-headed monster. Watch out.
They're wicked good.
I mean, if they had Watson, I would be really scared.
Oh, yeah.
Like playing them in the playoffs.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Steelers
defense isn't like
bad. It isn't as good as it was in years past, but I would still say B tier.
Yeah, I'd put them in the B
I'd say
tier.
below the Jets.
Yeah, probably below the Jets.
Right here.
TJ Watt's getting stuck too, kind of.
TJ Watt, but they're a better organization than the what are we talking about again? Oh, better than the Raiders.
Oh,
they're a much better organization than the Raiders. Last but not least, the Texans.
See, they're living on their offense, but their defense isn't like terrible.
It's not terrible. I would say it's like Seahawks, Colts, Falcons, somewhere in there.
Yeah, they took like a tackle early in the draft.
They took Derek Stingley 2 years ago. They took Will Anderson this year.
Okay.
So I would put them like above the Colts, but like they're like there's a ton of teams that are just average.
Yeah, these defenses are kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year is a wacky year for the NFL. I mean, you got offenses that like should be good but aren't doing as well because of health injuries and just other whatever you want to call it. And then you got defenses that are getting banged up because the offenses aren't performing as well. So it's just a crazy year for the NFL. A lot of the records that these teams have aren't speaking for how good the teams look on paper. Is all I gotta say.
I like our tier list though.
I think it's pretty accurate. The team I love to clown on is the Chargers.
Yes.
Because I just love seeing them crumble.
Me and Brendan have talked off camera about their schedule coming up, and other than the Patriots, I think they might be favored in one other game.
Yeah.
So it might be tanking season in Los Angeles,
which would be hilarious with all the talent they
Yep.
have. That'd be amazing.
Mhm.
So I'd love to see that.
Well, that's it for another tier list. This one was a little long, but we like to be in depth, and we like to give you our whole opinion. So that's it for the NFL defenses tier list. We will catch you next time on Tier Tuesday.
Take care, everybody.